In northeastern Indiana, tucked away with the cornfields and the Amish farms, is a little town, SHIPSHEWANA, that's built around a spectacular flea market. Hi, I'm Amy on A Lolly Life, and I'm excited to share with you a social story about going to the flea market and everything that you would need to know to be able to enjoy that trip. A social story is... What is a social story? A social story takes you step by step through a particular experience, and in this instance it's going to SHIPSHEWANA, a flea market. Now, SHIPSHEWANA obviously is different than some other flea markets. It's a really nice flea market, but there are a lot of similarities between one flea market and another, and so by watching a video about going to SHIPSHEWANA, you can get a feel for what it might be like to go to another flea market that would be of similar size. Also, if you happen to be traveling through northeastern Indiana and you want a little day activity, SHIPSHEWANA is a fun one. Our family really enjoys SHIPSHEWANA. What makes SHIPSHEWANA special among flea markets, and what should you expect from a flea market experience? Let's talk about it. I'll try to include little details that would help make a first-time flea market experience more enjoyable because you'll know what to expect. Flea markets are not open every day, so it's important to check their calendar. For example, SHIPSHEWANA is normally open Tuesdays and Wednesdays, May through September, with some special dates like Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, and a couple weekends. The hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We stayed until after 3 p.m., so the parking area had cleared way out. Most flea markets open early and close before dinner. What do you wear? Because it's outdoors, you should wear cool, comfortable clothes. You should also wear comfortable shoes. While you can wear comfortable sandals, it's not unusual for flea markets to have lots of gravel paths. One time that I wore sandals to the flea market, I decided I would never wear sandals to the flea market again because I was constantly getting gravel in my sandals. Also, a hat and sunscreen are important. Some people bring wagons to put things in. I like to bring a backpack. At SHIPSHEWANA, you can rent a wagon or a little cart if all the walking is too much for you. Not all flea markets do that, so if you're interested in renting a wagon or a cart, you should find out what options are available at the flea market you're going to. If you have little people with you, they are going to get tired. So a stroller would be important. Plus, a stroller can double as a place to stash all your flea market finds. I bring a small hand fan because I have hot flashes, but I also take a small hand fan with me just about anywhere. I also bring a water bottle. But most flea markets have food vendors, so you can probably purchase a drink. The food vendors are one of the things that make SHIPSHEWANA so special, but we'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. At SHIPSHEWANA, it costs $5 to park in general parking. Most flea markets charge a little bit for parking, and so plan ahead. But you know what doesn't cost $5? Liking this video. You need to bring cash for more than just parking. Most vendors only take cash. Some of the vendors that sell a little bit larger ticket items oftentimes will take a credit card, but many times they will only take cash. There are a few ATMs at SHIPSHEWANA. Most flea markets have an ATM close by. However, it will probably charge you a fee. And so if you plan ahead, then you can probably get your cash without having to pay a fee. But there usually is an ATM around, and it will probably cost money to use it. Parking isn't always easy to locate, so you might want to check Google Maps to see how to get to the parking area, because if you only put the destination in Google Maps, it might take you to the front gate and not to where there's any parking. Someone will be at the gate so you can pay for parking and to give you a parking ticket. SHIPSHEWANA also has people that kind of direct the parking and show you where to park. When parking, it's a good idea to pay attention to where you parked. When we arrived, we got a directory guide at the gate because it has a map in it. Most larger flea markets have something similar, or they may have large signs with maps on them throughout the flea market. SHIPSHEWANA is a gold standard flea market. Many smaller flea markets just don't have the same variety of things in their flea market as what you might find at SHIPSHEWANA, but you can always expect to find something odd at a flea market, even if it's something that you don't actually want to buy. One thing that makes SHIPSHEWANA special is the food. The SHIPSHEWANA area has the third largest Amish and Mennonite communities in the United States, and those people can cook. So the food vendors at SHIPSHEWANA have lots of home-cooked options. Plus, I really love the atmosphere that the Amish bring. They're quiet, respectful, and just very courteous. One of our favorite food vendors at SHIPSHEWANA are soft pretzels. Tell me in the comments if you love soft, fresh-baked pretzels. The food at flea markets is often like carnival food. At lunchtime, you can expect to stand around and have to wait in line for food. Most flea markets have shaded areas with picnic benches, but those can get a little crowded at lunchtime. We found a place a little ways off that wasn't very crowded. Some other things that you'll find at SHIPSHEWANA and a lot of other larger flea markets are that they have a farmer's market. They also have an area that sells plants. SHIPSHEWANA also has an auction. It wasn't actually open that day. Like I said, we went and visited on the 4th of July, and so they didn't have an auction that day. Now, the very important question of what kinds of things can you buy at a flea market? Flea markets always have booths selling antique and used items. These items are often unique and you can't find them anywhere else. In addition, the wares will be different each time you visit, kind of like a thrift store. These are some of the shops at SHIPSHEWANA. While some of them are more unique to the area because of the Amish, most larger flea markets will have something similar. Many of the food booths that sell food have samples. We visited SHIPSHEWANA on the 4th of July, and so it was a little extra busy, and there was some live music and things like that, and so that was really fun. Most flea markets probably don't have live music or other things like that. Even SHIPSHEWANA only has that on certain occasions. Some people bring dogs to flea markets. The dogs are almost always friendly, but you should still ask permission before you try to pet the dog. Also, do not bring your dog to the flea market if they bark a lot, are aggressive, or hard to control. They don't belong at the flea market. One more thing about flea markets. Most prices are not set in stone. It's not like a grocery store where you pay the price listed or you don't buy the item. Many of the vendors will negotiate on the prices more like a garage sale. However, if you are only getting one or two small things or they're really busy, the chances of them changing the price for you are very small. These Among Us characters were marked 3 for $10. My son found them at the beginning of our trip, and the booth was full of customers. Often you can find another shop selling the same kinds of things, when they're selling new items, that is, and sometimes the shops have different prices, and so my son decided that he was going to try and see if he could find it at a better price. He didn't find anyone else selling them, so he came back later, and the shop wasn't busy. He asked them if he could get them at 4 for $10, and they agreed. Some of our finds were a handcrafted scrubby pad that the store owner knitted it herself, and freeze-dried candies. If you want to try some freeze-dried candies, I have a link in the description for freeze-dried Skittles and freeze-dried Jolly Ranchers. Those were the two that we tried at SHIPSHEWANA, and so you can try those if you want to. I thought they were pretty cool. It was a little bit strange because they tasted the same, but the texture was completely different, and so it's a really unique eating experience. We also found a small company that sells licorice, a huge tomato at the farmer's market area, some dip mixes, a wooden sword, and a nightlight switch. One of my favorite reasons to shop at a flea market is because every booth is owned by someone in the area. When you are purchasing things, you're supporting a local family or business and the community. For more social story videos, you can click on the playlist in the corner, and I just want you to know that you are enough. Even if you're not perfect, actually, especially if you're not perfect, because I'm not perfect. And guess what? Even those people who you think do everything perfectly, they don't do everything perfectly either. It is okay. That is part of the reason that we're down here on this earth, is to learn and to grow. When you don't do something perfectly, get up, try again, and then if you don't do it perfectly that time, get up and try again. Again, yeah. And again, and again, and again. That's what you have this life for. To learn, to grow, to change. So it's okay not to be the best at everything. Like, that's actually normal. And just know that I love you, and you are enough. And I'll see you on the next episode of A Lolly Live.